after every interaction, after every sexual interaction when I was like in high school, I'd always ask like, "Am I gay? Am I gay? Why is my dick working all these times?" And then like, I just go to sleep. I'm like, nah, and then I just fall asleep.
Just fall asleep and dream about dicks.
Fall asleep with my dick that doesn't work.
Then you start thinking about Shaquille O'Neal, and it's just like, oh, I'm awake now.
Dude, do you remember the first porno you ever watched?
Yes.
Which one? What was it?
It was my neighbor Shane's house, and he introduced me to what porn was. Like he was literally on porn.com. And so he like typed it in. He's like, check this out. And it was like this like kind of like POV shot for a while of like kind of this dude like with a camera being like, oh yeah, show me your, kind of like one of those like we're about to shoot a fuck scene, but like I'm trying to like hype this girl up with the camera, being like, oh yeah, show me your titties. And
wow, those are great knockers. Perky. Ooh.
Yeah, and he's saying like creepy ass stuff, and his hand is getting in there, and he's got like that big hairy ass fucking fat guy hand with a ring on it.
So,
and like, what the fuck?
Do you like sucking cock? And the girls are just like, yeah, sure.
No, they're always like, yeah, like they always they don't do. They're not very good actors, but when it comes to like that type of acting, like how excited are you to suck some cock? Oh my god, I'm so excited to suck some cock.
It was all a dream.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Let's start dreaming.
It alters your life and you never think the same again.
Some dumb thing on the edges of nowhere.
A collection of question marks stuck together into a pit of darkness. No logic, no reason, no explanation.
We can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice between fear and love.
That's just deep, bro. That's deep.
Good evening, dreamers. Welcome back to the Let's Start Dreaming podcast. My name is Mikey, and
my name is Carson, and I actually think I want to make an adjustment to the Dreamers tag. We started it all off with like, what's up, Dreamers, calling the audience Dreamers. I think Dream Team.
Yeah.
It's
Or
like
Dream Muggle Team. So we're like DMT and also L.S.D.
Muggle?
Yeah.
How did that get thrown in there?
I was literally in that 2-second pause. I was thinking of something that started with M. Dream Mother Team.
Dream Math
I think yours
team?
was all.
Turns out we're just really into math.
Dream Meth Team.
That's a.
Because remember, you're not cool. You're not. You're not cool if you don't do drugs. Remember from last episode?
Dude,
we made that very clear.
Meth heads are probably really good at arithmetic. They're probably just killing it. Because like you got all that time to think, you don't have like a job, so you have all that time to like do calculations in your head to be like, how am I getting fucked out of that last like 18th of drugs? And it's like, let me write this down. They got a chalkboard or some shit. I bet drug addicts, like real hardcore, are super good at math.
I was thinking today how being an addict literally like overtakes all of your mind, like your rationality, like. Oh, should I do this? No, drugs. Should I go and feed myself? Drugs. Should I go do my productive shit that I'm supposed to do? Drugs. Should I go to work? Drugs. It's so fucking bad. It's so toxic. It's so ugly.
It really seems like a, in like the animal kingdom, how sometimes it's like, oh, this bug will work its way into the frog's system as a parasite, and it'll make it like do these things and like eventually kill itself so that the bug can feed off of it. And you watch that in a nature documentary, and you're like, "That's some fucking crazy shit."
That's some crazy. And fungi does that too.
Yeah, like, and they just like infect other living creatures and make them act in a certain way, almost like brainwash them. And we're watching the fucking Nat Geo being like, "Oh no, that's the craziest shit ever." I'm glad that doesn't happen to people while you're just hitting your crack pipe.
I never put two and two together. That's kind of crazy though. That's really crazy. But yeah, the fungi that do that, like, that's so fucking weird. And the thing is, like, fungi that do that, fungi aren't even plants or animals. They're their own kingdom.
Yeah.
So, like, what are their intentions of fucking hijacking a host's mind? This was specifically for ants, I'm remembering now, where these fungi hijack the ants' brain and body and just fucking. I guess they go somewhere to die. And then
What's your plan, fungus? Huh? Awfully suspicious,
fungi.
fungus. I don't trust fungus, man. I don't trust
Fungus
it.
is fucking cool. Fungus is so cool.
No, but when I see fungus out there, I walk on the other side of the street. You know, when I'm walking down the street, the sidewalk late at night, and I see some fungus with a hood on, I walk on the other side of the street. I don't even interact because I don't know what that fungus is gonna do. I can't trust them.
You know, they are sentient beings. We had this conversation before. I know we did. You were trying to school me, and I honestly don't even know the full definition of sentient. Can you tell me that?
I mean, I don't know the Webster Dictionary definition off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure sentient just means living off of its own, brain function.
Fungi are really cool. I'll tell you that. Like I said earlier, they're their own kingdom. They do their own shit. They're not plants, not animals. Oh, I tried to cook one the other day, and it kind of tasted disgusting. A portobello mushroom.
Oh.
Portobello. Like, it was alright. I tried to make it taste like steak. I put too much salt. It was yucky. Any vegans out there, comment below how to make portobello steak mushroom, because I can't do that shit.
I think the best use for mushrooms, is just on top of a steak in a gravy. That's my favorite way to eat mushrooms. Is you make a steak, you make a quick gravy, and then you just chop up some mushrooms and put that in the gravy, and you just drizzle that over the steak. It's fucking delicious.
My personal best thing for mushrooms is eating them and then discovering who you are. Psychedelics, baby. L.S.D, baby.
I was about to
Podcast, baby.
Portobello mushrooms don't do that.
They don't do that. They do not do that.
I mean, maybe for some people. Maybe somebody like out there has eaten a portobello and been like, man, I want to be a mushroom farmer. And it changed the avenue of their lives. And so they tell everybody, like, that's like their TED Talk. Is like, one day in 2011, I ate some mushrooms and it changed my life. And everybody's like, all right, here we go. It's about to be some psychedelic shit. And he's like, portobellos. And it's a switch up. I think somebody out there has that story and they should tell it because it would make a really good, I just gave him the intro right there. So,
I was at the farmer's market one time and these guys were like mushroom hunters, I think. They had all these. It was a mushroom stall, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll just go to the forest and get some." And that they were the type of dudes to like do mushrooms too. Like they were freaking groovy, long beards. I'm pretty sure they were wearing tie dye. Just selling like truffles and white fucking whatever like grocery store mushrooms you find are and portobellos.
I don't know. I don't know if you can assume those guys are like psychedelic heads. I don't think you can assume that anymore in the world we live in. There's guys out there that are like born again Christians, or just have always been in the church, and but they got that long hair hippie vibe.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh man, you want to like do some fucking, I don't know, do some acid? Do you want to smoke some PCP?" And they're like, "No, man, I'm high on the Lord." And like that's a real personality type that exists.
I have a friend, Haley. She's actually never done a psychedelic yet. Like if you met her, you'd think that she's just like this open-minded psychedelic experience person, but no, she's never done it. Listens to the Grateful Dead, like where it's like all that stuff. Although I guess I do know some girls that are like that, but they've all done like psychedelics, so I don't know. She's just never done it, but she's got that vibe, which is cool. So I guess the same could be said for the opposite. You see somebody that looks psychedelic. Oh wait, that's what you were just saying.
Yeah,
but she's not against it though. She's not that born again Christian.
No, I'm
all right. Let's pray for this guy real quick. Jesus, please enter this person, this lost drug addict, and please help them find the way to your palace. Amen.
I mean, this might come off as a little bit rude and very controversial. Maybe the most controversial thing we've ever said on the podcast. But if you don't do drugs and you listen to the Grateful Dead, you have bad music taste. Because it's not that good. The Dead is not super great music.
Look, I haven't listened to the Grateful Dead. I have done a copious amount of psychedelic drugs. I try to. I'm not gonna say they're bad. I can't say that because I've listened to them like once or twice, but like it just wasn't me. I was like,
Just my opinion. I don't really like jam bands. I don't like anybody that's just like, all right, we're gonna do a 14-minute song that goes absolutely nowhere. I don't like that vibe.
well, I think that's the point. Is like just being in the moment and just going crazy. That's kind of like designers cipher on the 2016 thing. I was listening to the designers Anderson .Paak and Lil Dickies last night, and he literally said he like had a hook. He said the same thing like 8 times in a row. I've been cruising around in the coupe with a doop, hey, I've been cruising around. He literally said that 8 times in a row, like for a minute and a half straight. Like he didn't say anything different. Yo,
It's
Lil
funny.
Dicky bodied
He said
that
it,
shit.
he said it. He said it 3 times. Like he did the whole chorus over and over 3 times, and I still don't know any of the words.
I can understand designer. There is this okay, but
So
I'll tell
you can pick up on every now and then, but like a lot of it, he's really mumbling, and it's like, dude, I know you got the Future influence, but I can understand Future.
Well, I'll tell you, like, senior year of high school, designer was coming out, junior year, senior year. I didn't understand the fucking shit he said, anything he said. And then one day I got super duper high, and I was like in the car, and I'm like, I was listening to Zombie Walk. I really liked that song, even though I didn't really
That's a good
understand
song.
what he was saying.
That's a good song.
I liked that one a lot. And then like I was high as fuck, and I was like, yo, I can understand him. I can now to this day I can understand everything he's saying, for the most part. But like, it is really mumbly. I guess it's just picking up like lingo and what do you call it, dialect from rap itself.
I mean, he's just like the one outlier for me because maybe it's because he's got like the really deep voice, and like Future does the same thing, but he's also a little bit more, I think, coherent a lot of the time. Like the mumbles feel intentional for Future, while designers feel like that's just his like patois, that's just how he speaks. But it's like super amplified in the music. Like when I've heard designer talk, just normal talk, like he's very, I mean, you can understand exactly what he's saying, but just in the music, it's like double amplified. And Young Thug, I can
I love Thug.
I can pick up on everything Young Thug is saying, but like it's just designer.
No, Young Thug sounds crazy as fuck though. You gotta learn to understand him, I think. I've been listening to him. I've been on a 2016 kick for the past day and a half, and so I've been on that the Slime Season 3. Yeah, the Barter 6, I think it was.
Barter 6, yeah.
But it's oh man, his delivery is just so crazy. He doesn't do it I mean, he makes music, he delivers like that, but like it was just a different time back then. He was dropping shit left and right, and just everything he dropped was so hype, and it was that time of like where mumble rap was at its peak. And
I think when he dropped
it wasn't old.
I think when he dropped Slime Language, everybody was just like, all right, dude, you got to switch it up a little bit. It's getting old.
Listened to Slime Language.
It wasn't good.
Am I missing out?
No. That's one you can skip.
Designer. We're talking about designer and Future.
Dude, designer fucking... I think we all forget. Everybody knows him in hindsight as the Panda guy. That's like the big hit, obviously. But...
Panda. Oh! Well, go ahead.
Are we not all remembering fucking Timmy Turner? How much of a banger?
Timmy Turner.
That's a great song. Like just the vibe of it, just like really dark and spooky, and it just something about it like really got to me. That song.
It's a hard ass beat.
Because I listened to that whole album. I listened to that whole New English album, and it was mostly bad songs. Like it was 90% bad songs, and that one, I think Zombie Walk and fucking Panda were really the only outliers as good songs.
But Panda you could throw down to. That's like Mo Bamba, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going ham at Panda. Especially part 2 as well.
what happened to Sheck West, dude?
Dude, Sheck West and Designer, I bet they both just got their bag and said, I mean, I'm sure they didn't want to quit. I don't know what the fuck happened.
I don't think they quit. I mean, Designer for sure didn't quit.
Is
Like,
he on
he's still
good
making music. Here's the thing that Designer said in an interview. He was talking about how good music has kind
label?
of stifled his.
That's what I was literally about to say.
Yeah, the label, Good Music, has kind of stifled his drops. It hasn't allowed him to drop when he wants to. He said, "I've got plenty of music to drop. They just won't let me." So, and Sheck is, I believe, signed to the same label. So maybe it's
Kanye just fucking them?
I think Kanye might be just fucking these people. And you know, he had such a good track record of like working with talented artists and having talented artists under the Good Music label. And then like, I'm not saying Designer and Sheck aren't talented. It's just like that. Then you pick up these guys that, all right, you're not even going to use them.
I'm wondering where they would be now, especially Designer. Like, you know, that shit dropped in 2017. Probably 2016, 2017.
I think it was 2016.
Like, where would he have evolved to at this point?
I don't know, man. I mean,
He was a whole freshman. I mean, not nowadays. Like the freshman list is whatever, but like,
well, the
you know,
freshman
2016 was
list
legendary.
is such a bad predictor of who is actually going to make it because they miss a lot of people and then they pick a lot of people that are just bad picks. Obviously, they pick a lot of the right people, but they do make a lot of, you know, wrong calls along the way, which you can't expect them to get everybody right. But you know, every cover has you know, I'd say at least 2 or 3 artists on there where you're like, where the fuck did they go?
Yeah. You listen to Anderson .Paak. Is he chilling? Is he doing his thing?
Yeah, no, Anderson .Paak is phenomenal. I mean, I never thought he was supposed to be on the cover, just because he's not a rapper. I don't think it should be rappers and you know, I feel like hip hop, R&B, soul music, all of that gets just lumped into the same category, and it's such different styles of music.
Yeah, like
Anderson
90s
.Paak
R&B is not 90s rap.
It's just 2 different things, and I think it's like sort of just like a black thing, and that's why they get lumped together is because you know, execs, like studio execs and people that are writing these magazines and people that, you know, put out billboard shit, they're just like, oh yeah, the black folks music, that's all one thing, we're gonna put that under this umbrella of hip hop / R&B. Like, those are 2 completely different genres. That's like if I was gonna say like country and folk, oh yeah, they're the same thing. No, anybody would argue that. If you know about country and folk music, they're 2 completely different genres of music. They sound similar to somebody that doesn't know anything about the music, a little bit, but not much.
Maybe rock and metal.
I mean,
Classic.
rock and metal.
Classic rock and metal.
Classic, yeah, that's a little bit. See, those are, well, it's tough because, I mean, metal is an offshoot of rock directly. Like a lot of genres are, you know, punk is technically an offshoot of rock, but it's still a totally different genre. So yeah, obviously metal is not the same as rock, but you know, they are kind of like an offshoot of the genre. It's like, I would say cloud rap. Cloud rap is totally different than, you know, crunk. It's totally different than trap, obviously, but they can get lumped up into the same category.
I don't think they're that. I mean, they're different, but I think it's the same category.
I mean, yeah, there is a limit.
But
to
I
how
guess
much
that's
you
like
can
saying like
subgenre
dubstep, and I guess you could say like dubstep and house music. Like you could say they're both EDM, but they're different. They're very different.
Yeah, somebody that like
completely
is
different.
into
They're completely
those types
different.
of music, you would say they're completely different. But like, I'm not a fan of EDM, dubstep, any of that shit at all. And I would listen to them and be like, yeah, these are similar. These are very similar. Now, actually, that's a bad. That's not what I believe at all. Dubstep does sound a lot different than house music. It's just 2 different styles completely, but I get it's like very, you know, loud, booming, just instrumental. I don't know.
That.
I don't know. I can't
Screechy
speak on that because
Skrillex.
I don't know anything about those types of music.
Yo, going back to fucking Grateful Dead. I wouldn't mind going to a concert. I wouldn't mind just experiencing it or tripping and experiencing it. But like Pink Floyd, I thoroughly enjoy Pink Floyd, but they're often compared to each other. But they don't
By
sound
who?
anything alike. I don't know, like the psychedelic community, I guess.
Yeah, psychedelic community doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't seem like a coherent. They don't seem coherent to me. But actually, I haven't listened to many songs, so I guess I can't talk.
That is being so reductionist down to the level of, oh, these are, kind of psychedelic inspired rock bands. Like, that's like saying that Pink Floyd and Fish are the same fucking thing, or even in the same category whatsoever. Like, absolutely not. It doesn't make any sense. But Fish isn't a psychedelic band. It's just a jam band, so you wouldn't say that. Just because the Grateful Dead has, like, everybody that's ever taken a couple tabs of acid in their lives has taken one with the fucking bear on it. They get lumped in the same category as Pink Floyd, even though Pink Floyd's a legendary group that's 1,000 times better than the Dead.
Why? What the hell was I gonna say? Oh my god, why does my mind just slip away from me all the time? It's the drugs, kids. Do more. You'll forget everything. And you'll forget everything you want to forget. And yeah. That time your uncle touched you, you'll forget. That time you've pooped your pants in front of the class while giving a presentation, you'll forget. That time you had your period in 6th grade and you started bleeding out in the chair and you had to go to the bathroom, but your teacher wouldn't let you and you were standing in front of the class and you saw a big red stain on your ass, you would forget that. Fuck, why am I forgetting? Well, let's move on.
We're talking about Floyd.
It's really gone. Oh! It's gone. It's
Jesus Christ. No, I've always been a big music fan, but a lot of the things that I've recently gotten into, it is very recent. Like Pink Floyd wasn't always a thing that was in my life. I might have talked about this before, that I the first time I ever listened to Floyd was in maybe middle school, maybe high school, but then I just didn't like them. I didn't get it. And it didn't take drugs to
I
make me
wouldn't
get
get it back then. I wouldn't get it back then. No way.
And I don't think that drugs make you get any type of music. I think that if music requires drugs, then it's bad. Then it's automatically bad music, because music should have the ability to be accessible. Even if it's not super accessible in nature, if it's a little bit more experimental, it should be accessible for everybody if they want to dive into it. So I don't think music should ever require drugs. But it wasn't the drugs that made me get into Pink Floyd. It was just I started to understand what they were going for musically, and I was like, this is fucking brilliant.
No, the drugs definitely helped me like Pink Floyd, because my brother described it to me the best way he could. He said, Mikey, in the 70s, they didn't have the internet. They had music and they had drugs. And so I'm sure Pink Floyd was making music on drugs a lot. But, like, that doesn't mean that, like you said, if you don't have to have drugs to enjoy music. But they were doing some crazy shit. And they were making some shit that sounded really crazy and beautiful. And it's just like, wow, this is mind-blowing, especially on acid, like, or just a psychedelic. Like, to me, like, it's just mind-expanding music. Like, I listen to, like, what's the song that goes, hello, is there anybody? I've listened to it, like, a fucking couple hundred times.
Numb.
So Comfortably Numb, like, some of those noises just feel like you're, like, wow. That makes me feel like my mind is just like whoosh,
but I'd argue that it does that sober. Like that.
Yeah.
That's how good Floyd is that it does that sober. Like
I just listened to it on psychedelics for the first time. Like I didn't listen to it sober before I listened to it on psychedelics. I listened to it on psychedelics before I listened to it sober. And I really, really enjoy it sober. Like I just do anything and listen to Pink Floyd.
You know, it's a song I heard for the first time on acid. and that's why I have somewhat of a connection to it. Is because it's
What?
kind of that. I don't know what that memory is. I don't know if it's like it just makes a point in your mind, like you're gonna remember this because of this. But Rack City Part 2 by Trippie Redd.
Oh.
I heard that for the first time, tripping my nuts off, and I was. It's kind of like a spooky
That must have been crazy.
song, and the wah wah sounds like just got me.
Ooh.
I was like, "Fuck!" Like
Most
I'm
definitely.
I'm being chased right now. It was nighttime. I was in a sketchy smoke spot. I was like, it was kind of cold out. I was wearing a hoodie. All the other people around me were wearing hoodies, and I was just like, "We got to get out of here, guys. We're gonna get chased." Not by cops. Not by cops. Dude, I wish it would be cops, but it's not. It's going to be the Time Lords. They're going to get us. They're going to get us. And when they get us, you're not going to like what happens. We're going to be sucked into another dimension where we're all just going to be 2D creatures. We're not going to be able to hug each other because we're going to be two-dimensional. We're going to be walking along a plane that's just as thin as paper. And we're going to have to jump over each other like Mario.
So, like... Today I was listening to At Long Last ASAP, like just one song off of the Fine Wine, but no Canal Street, but well, both of them, but specifically Canal Street. And when you do a psychedelic and you have the breakthrough experience in conjunction with a song, you often connect to that song in some way, shape, or form. And for me, that whole album almost connects me to breaking through to the great psychedelic experience. And like every time I listen to that album, like it's almost like I have flashbacks. Like I was Snapchatting my friend, I was listening to the song and I'm like, oh my god, like this shit fucking served me on my ass backwards on a silver platter, and like I fucking died. I was telling my friend, like I just randomly Snapchatted my friend. I'm like, make sure that you enjoy every second of life, because literally you can lose it in the next second because you're not guaranteed anything. And like I literally died on acid. Like you are not guaranteed anything. Like I don't know, I was being like really psychedelic, metaphorical.
Did you put all those likes in there when you texted them?
No, I did not. I was more coherent. But no, it's true. Like, I can't even think about it. What I wanted to say earlier was, why is fucking the Grateful Dead merged in so much college culture?
Because it's a drug thing. It's a drug thing.
No, but
because people want to make that their identity. They want to make the hippy dippy psychedelia their identity. So they're like, oh, I'm going to get a Grateful Dead tapestry, put it up in my room, wear tie-dye t-shirts, and be this person.
We have frats and sororities at our school that literally like their whole like thing is about the Grateful Dead. Like Spee at our school, they just have hang up tapestries everywhere. They all got all they listen to is Grateful Dead. All the chicks love them because they like Grateful Dead.
I've just never got it. I've never got it, man. It's like Pearl Jam. It just never made it through to me.
I'm gonna listen to some after this, definitely.
Like they've got some okay shit. Like I'm not trying to shit on them like they're the worst band ever. It's just like they get touted as being like one of the legends of music, and I just don't see it that way whatsoever. There's so many it's like, to me, AC/DC in that same category of somebody that's gotten a lot of credit for making the same song over and fucking over again.
Migos!
Yeah, but Migos are... everybody's kind of aware that it's like, all right, they're doing the copy and paste thing where they steal a style of music from another group and then they make it their own. They do it flashier, and then they make the same fucking record over and over and over again until people get sick of it. I don't know why Offset pops up. By the way, I don't know why Offset pops off strictly on features. Offset, he never impresses me on like Migos projects, but whenever he's on a feature, he just like...
I like seeing that shit. I like seeing Offset.
That's the only time he writes good verses.
Dude, what is wrong with my mind today? Everything I want to say is just slipping away. Am I dying?
Probably.
Like, fuck.
I mean,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
all dying
No,
in
my
a sense.
We are. We're living to die, dying to live. My friend did tell me though, if you're gonna listen to Grateful Dead, listen to live versions because it's just better than studio versions. So I will do that, and I urge you all to listen to some Grateful Dead after this episode. Try to understand it. If you don't, if you do, good for you. I'm gonna try to listen to it and try to understand it. I'm definitely gonna listen to a live version. Don't really know where to start. I'll probably ask her afterwards.
I would say, if you want to listen to music that's gonna make you fucking the hair stand up on your neck,
Listen to Loki G and Wade Galaxy.
Absolutely not. If you want to listen to mediocre SoundCloud rap, we got you. But
Stop talking our own music down. That's fucked up.
But if you want to listen to something great, something that'll just make you have that psychedelic feel while
Then
being
listen to
perfectly
MF
sober in your
Doom.
car, then listen to Swans.
I think
Swans
you definitely showed me that. I'm gonna look at my phone right now.
has an excellent album. Has like a kid's face on the cover. The fucking name is eluding me at this point, but just a crazy. And I'm kind of going back on what I said earlier, where I said like, oh, they're just gonna make 13-minute songs, because there are like 12-minute songs on that album, but they're fucking good, and the amount of movement they do in those songs is pretty crazy. The amount, they start in one place and end in a completely different zone, and that's what I like so much about them, and that it's just so careless. Like, we don't give a fuck if you're gonna be able to follow this, because you're not. So just strap in and fucking enjoy the ride. I like that.
I think I listened to one song, and I do remember it being kind of crazy. So I think I'm gonna go back and try to listen to it all. But
Some of the drums on that shit, man. The drums are just tribal. It's crazy.
This man's did recommend it to me a while ago, and I did not listen to it all. But you guys should too. Listen to Grateful Dead, Swans, Loki G, and Wade Galaxy. As I look at the clock, it looks like we are out of time. Please, dreamers. What did you say to call them?
Dream Team.
Dream Team. Come on, Dream Team. You know what you do. Like the video, comment on the video, favorite the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification button, stream our music, follow us on Instagram at Wade and Lowkey. Carson, do you have anything to add for our loyal Dream Team over here behind the screen? Those sexy viewers of you.
Just listen to my podcast. Comes out every Tuesday. It's called the Shock Therapy Podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun if I get some more viewership on that, because I really do have a lot of fun doing that. Just sitting
Man
here
just
by
loves his
myself,
podcast.
just talking about nothing. I really don't promote it either. I did for a while, and then I kind of just stopped, because I'm like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If it's not, I don't really give a shit. I just like making it, and I'm probably gonna come through with some new type of content on this channel pretty soon. You'll be hearing it here first. Just it's a new series.
We've been saying that for months now. We got to do this shit.
Yeah, no, but it's a new series I actually have planned out, where I basically do a Genius verified style of video where I go through an artist's song lyrics, but I only do cringy, dumb songs and just kind of roast them. So be on the lookout for that. That's coming pretty soon.
Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you all next week.
Been feeling
Disconnected now.
I get money, know I'm reckless now.
I get high, coming off the ground.
This life is a prison, someone let me out. Been feeling
Disconnected now.
I get money, know I'm reckless now.
I get high, coming off the ground.
This life is a prison, someone let me out.